Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Nikki and I am the Managing Director of Ingenious Personnel, which is a recruitment agency, or you can call it a staffing agency. On today's topic, I just want us to talk about second interviews and what really happens should you be invited to go and attend a second interview, or if you are somebody that has made it through the first round and you have been invited to go and meet decision makers on a second panel interview. So that is what we're talking about today. If this is your very first time on our channel, this is where we talk about recruitment, we talk about interviews, we talk about business, and that if that is something that you do like and enjoy, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe on the channel. Now let's get talking. So like I said, guys, today we are going to have a conversation and we're going to have a discussion around second interviews. In most cases, especially with high-level positions, second interviews are bound to happen. We also need to understand that a lot of recruitment processes are not the same for every company. So recruitment processes, they vary. Some companies will only do one initial interview. Some companies will do maybe a second interview and then an assessment. You know, the recruitment process varies per company. Okay, if you are somebody that is currently interviewing at the moment and perhaps you have been invited for a second interview, today I want us to talk about what exactly is going to happen in that second interview and what is the purpose of the second interview. So the purpose of a second interview is to outline or to understand the candidate on a much deeper level. It is also sometimes meant to create the relationship much stronger because you have initially done the first interview process. Sometimes also it could be that, some hiring managers, some recruiters as well, when they do set up an initial interview, which is the first connection of an interview, they allocate a certain time for a candidate. So sometimes they could allocate 30 minutes per candidate. Sometimes it could be 45 minutes per candidate. It just depends. And that, in most cases, is not enough time to get to know and understand the candidate on a deeper level or a deeper connection, hence why you would then be invited for a second interview. Okay, so that is the first thing about second interview that we need to understand. Also, secondly, what you want to understand on a second interview is that you could possibly be called in to do an assessment or to do a presentation on that second interview. So they would normally give you a topic to speak about or a topic to present on, where you need to go and research that topic. And then in the second interview, you would then have to do a presentation to everyone or do an assessment to everybody about whatever the topic was about. That could also happen on the second interview. Lastly, what also happens on second interviews is that you can get an opportunity to meet the team, the people that you're going to be working with, just to see if you are the culture fit of the business, and also just to get a sense of is there a connection between the two of you? Is there a connection between yourself and the team? Can you blend in nicely with the team? Can you work well with the team? So that could also happen in the initial second stage of the interview. What I need you to remember is, even though second interviews are not as intense as first interviews, the fundamentals of interviews that we have discussed this far about preparing and getting yourself ready still remains the same. Yes, second interviews are not as intense as first interviews, but remember that the fundamentals are still the same. You are still being assessed. The second interview does not mean that you got the position. It could be that they need to understand a little bit more about yourself. Also, it could be that you're not the only person that has been shortlisted for a second interview. Therefore, you still need to bring your A game onto the table. So it does not mean that you've got the position. It purely means that they are trying to get more information out of you. And also they want to see if you can present yourself, if you can do presentation, if you are not shy to speak in front of people, stuff like that, especially if you're applying for a marketing position. So that is what second interviews are about. And if you enjoyed this content, if you found any value in this content, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, comment on the page, and we will see you next week. Take care and be safe.